everybody, it's Stephen and Walter here for this week's episode of So Chatty.
It's the green wave.
Talk to the hand. And we're starting off well on this today, aren't we? Don't think it's going to be a long episode. We don't have a lot of stuff to talk about, but then again, who knows? Maybe we don't. But anyways, this is episode 64, and it is June the 24th, 2022. So let's jump right into what Walter's not doing.
I haven't been doing any sewing this week. I should be.
Yeah. So
I have a pair of shorts to
I
finish.
was going to say, how far are you in those shorts?
Not far enough. Anyway, but I also had another project this week.
What was that?
Uninstalling a dishwasher and reinstalling a dishwasher.
There'll be more about that on Sunday, Stephen and Walter Live, and a little bit on my vlog next week as well. But yes, we had to buy a new dishwasher because the other one blew up. And we did buy one and everything. Happy birthday to me. And we could have paid for where we bought it from to have installers come and install it, though mind you, we still might be without a dishwasher for a while. But Walter's done it before, and so he did it again. It only took 7.5 hours to install.
I'm not too speedy. I'm not a speedy sewer, and I'm not a speedy installer. Of course, it doesn't help.
Oh, here we go.
45 minutes untwisting 2 strands of string because somebody.
It wasn't me. I told you that. It was the Robo. The Robo did it. It has a mind of its own. Anyways, if you want to hear more about that story, I did a little video, and that'll come up on next week's vlog. So teaser right there for you. But spoiler alert, we're still alive and the dishwasher seems to be working and it's installed now. So yeah, just a piece of hell for the week. But anyway, so that's his excuse for not working on anything else because, you know, that's his excuse.
Well, not only that, I've been tending to plants and stuff. It's nice and warm out. Why should I be stuck sewing all the time?
Can't ever answer something
I
like that
am
with one word. A pain in the ass.
I go in spurts. Either I go gung-ho on sewing or I just don't feel like doing it. So
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I'm kind of the opposite.
You're the opposite. He just goes.
I like to have it done by yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
But anyways, that's why we get along so well. Opposites attract. Okay, so you've got nothing to show us. Okay, I've got something to show because I've been busy too. And I've been working on Christmas things here. So let me just switch over the screen. So these are just tops for 4 table runners. Now, they're all the same pattern, but I did all 3 slightly different from each other on here. So my idea is I'm going to make a couple more, not in this design. I've got another design I've just chopped the pieces out for. Trying to get ahead of Christmas gifts or things. I don't have anybody specifically in mind for these, but you know, it's always good to have a table runner at Christmas because who knows, we may get invited to fabulous parties and what our little social calendar and our dance cards will be just full up. Not. But anyways, I don't like to be caught with my pants down in this situation. So yeah, they're hanging there, and what I'm going to do is when I get another couple that I want to get made, I'm going to throw them all on the long arm at once and do an edge-to-edge design that's got a Christmassy kind of feel to it, and then they'll all be quilted in one fell swoop, and then all I have to do is bind them. And I'm thinking I may not have big enough nor appropriate backing fabric. I may have to make a trip next week or something down to Ultimate Sewing and take a look at some fabric for batting or for backing on these. But anyways, that's what I have been up to. And that's about it. So what's coming up? Well, again, another plug for the International Stitch Marathon, July 22nd. We're getting closer. Tail end of next week, we start into July. So that's July the 22nd. There are about 12 different hosts. And that's about all I can tell you. It's free. It runs from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time, and then adjust it for your time zone accordingly. You can do the math. And you don't have to be there all day. It's come and go as you please. And I'm not sure if there's going to be any other specialty things like prizes or games or something, because I'm a co-host, but that you know as much as I do right now about the whole thing. So I guess it'll be a mystery, and we'll all find out then. And that is not why I called this mystery quilt. Not what you think. I'm coming to that. Okay, so I'm going to insert here right now for you a little short introductory blurb about another co-host and her YouTube channel. Her name is Karen Winchester. So I'll insert that
This
here.
week, I'd like to introduce you to another one of the co-hosts for the International Stitch Marathon. Her name is Karen Winchester, and this is her website right here, her YouTube channel. And Karen has a little intro blurb about one of her projects, which will give you a feel for what Karen is all about. And just as an aside, she is from Australia, and you know how I personally love Australia. So I'm just going to play you her little intro video right now.
Quilting Designs. I hope you're having a great day. I thought I'll give you a quick update on what the split 9 patch looks on my bed. As you can see, it looks absolutely beautiful and it lays really flawlessly and really nice on the bed. So I'd love to see yours. So don't forget to send me a link on Instagram and let me see what it looks like. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And of course, give it a thumbs up. And again, don't forget to check me out again on Crafty Quilting Designs for my next video tutorial next week. See you then. Do enjoy. Bye.
So if you want to see more about Karen, then do check out her YouTube channel, and her link is in my show notes below underneath the section for the International Stitch Marathon.
Okay, so moving on, what's next? I would like to know, because this is something I just found out about, and I'm sure it's nothing new under the sun. I think it's been around for quite a while. But apparently there are people who write novels based around quilts as a theme. And in some cases, they even include the instructions for making whatever quilt might be featured in the book. Now, I have never read any of these books, but why I got thinking about this was because I listened to podcasts all week long about quilting and other topics. And there's one, Brandy is her name, forget her last name, but she runs the Quilter on Fire podcast. She does a lot of interviews with, well, that's primarily what her show is about. It's interviews with, she claims she does quilters from all levels, but I don't think so. She mainly focuses on quilters that have got a reputation behind them. You know, they're people who give classes or do a lot of tutorials and things, you know, well-known individuals. In fact, just as an aside, I sent her a note one day saying, okay, you talk in your opening header that you are interested, that you interview everybody right down to everyday average quilters. And I said, name one. Well, she says, well, she did one with somebody. Well, no, they're not. They're not. Who are we trying to kid here? I mean, they're good interviews. They're interesting, and they are probably people, you don't probably know everybody. I certainly don't. But it's just the point that these are not your average everyday quilters. But I don't know why I'm even getting on that topic, because that's not what I want to say. What I want to say is she interviewed someone called Patience. What a name, eh? Patience Griffin. And Patience Griffin apparently writes novels about about quilting. And so you can get her books on like Kindle or Kobo, or you can get them on Amazon, things like that, if you still are reading the old-fashioned hardcover book kind of thing. My hands do not touch books anymore. If it's not electronic, I don't touch it. So I thought, well, I'd take a look into this. Now, this particular author, Patience Griffin, has two kinds of books. She has one set she calls her Alaskan series, and apparently it's PG, family oriented. I mean, first of all, a book, a novel, with action that surrounds a book about quilting. Um, how do you
No.
make that dirty? I mean, it's PG.
Well, you could be having sex between quilts.
Oh, okay, fine. I didn't think of that. Well, she does have a dirty version, apparently, a more adult version, she calls it, and that's the Scotland series. So I thought, well, I'll look.
What's up your kill?
Yeah, what's or what's up your quilt? Yeah, okay. So I thought I'd look this person up, look up at one of her books, and maybe I'd get one and try to read it. But I looked for one in the Scottish line because I thought, well, you know, oh, the other ones might be a little boring. I'm looking for something that,
Something spicy.
something spicy, about quilting. And I'm just not talking about wonky half square triangles here, okay? Or a drunkard's path. It was a dark and gloomy night, and he led me down the drunkard's path, where he touched gently my half square triangle, and then forced himself upon my curved
It took me to his
block.
log cabin.
Oh, maybe you can write a novel about these things. I don't know. But anyways, I looked up the synopsis.
Sunbonnet Sue was.
Oh, Sunbonnet Sue. Oh, they finally did Sunbonnet Sue. Read the sequel. Sunbonnet Sue loses her bonnet. Well, maybe we should try writing novels about this. It's going to be fun, actually. But anyways, here's the synopsis for the first book in the Scotland, the Filthy series by Patience Griffin. It's called To Scotland with Love. Now, I have a funny feeling, no matter whether you read the more raunchy versions or the PG, that they are romance type novels with some mystery in them. But here's the synopsis, and I hope I can read it without throwing up. Welcome to the charming Scottish seaside town of Gandalgo. Gandigo. I don't know. Where two people have returned home.
Candle-go.
No, it's
sorta
not
like-
candle.
It's
a G.
Gandal.
That's
Gandal-go.
Gan-
It's sort of like candle glow, but it's
No,
with a G.
that's an L. That's not an L, that's an I.
Oh,
Read your glasses.
Gandigo.
So Gandigo. That's what I said. Where is there an echo in this room?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Anyways, I wonder if it's a real place.
I don't know.
Gandigo. Where two people have returned home for different reasons, but to find the same thing. Dot, 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 dot. Okay, here's another one. Kate Trononi. Cateroni. It sounds like macaroni. Kate.
Catronia.
Caitriona. McLeod.
Yeah.
Okay. Gave up her career as an investigative reporter for the role of a perfect wife. Okay, smells of sexism. But after her husband is found dead in his mistress' bed, oh my God, it's getting steamy. A devastated Kate leaves Chicago for the birthplace she hadn't seen since she was a child. She's hoping to heal and to reconnect with her gran. The last thing she expects to find in Gandigo is the sexiest man alive. She just may have stumbled on the ticket to reigniting her career if her heart doesn't get in the way. Oh, Graham Buchanan, of course he's a Graham Buchanan, is a movie star with many secrets. A Gandigo native, he frequently hides out in his hometown between films. He also has a son he'll do anything to protect. But Kate McLeod is too damn appealing, even if she is a journalist. Quilting with her grand and other women of the village brings Kate a peace she hasn't known in years. But if she turns in the story about Graham, Gandigo will never forgive her for betraying one of its own. I guess this is referring to the fact that he was dead in his mistress' bed. No, someone was dead in the mistress's bed. A husband. Oh, Kate's husband. Okay, I'm not sure what she's writing about here. Candigo will never forgive her for betraying one of its own. Should she suffer the consequences to resurrect her career, or listen to her battered and bruised heart and give love another chance? Okay, so what's it got to do with quilting? I mean, there's only one section here where she says she's gone off to go to a quilting bee with her grandmother, kind of a deal. Am I intrigued? Well, it's only $7.80 on Kobo. I can buy it, but I'm busy reading my usual stuff. So maybe I'll read it at some point in time. Is it really appealing to me? No, it sounds a little bit sappy. But I have never read one of these books before. So maybe not. Maybe the synopsis isn't doing it justice. I want to know, and you can put this in the comments, please. Have any of you ever read a novel that is based upon quilting? I know that in Block Magazine by Missouri Star Quilt, they have an ongoing series. Someone writes, it's sort of like the old days of when they used to publish books like in the 1800s in newspapers, and they were serial books. Each week you got a different chapter kind of a deal. Well, this is what Block Magazine does. And I'll be honest, I have gotten some of Block's magazines. I get them digitally. I don't have a subscription, but every now and then I'll buy one when it comes up. But I've never, ever have I read any of those stories that are in there. And it's not like that I don't have a degree in English literature and didn't teach English my whole life and that I don't read. I do. Would you read a book like this? Oh, wait.
No.
Would you read a book?
I'll read a book, but my last book I read was a dummy's book for a Mac.
Okay.
That's the last book I read. That was a couple of years ago. I don't read books.
No. So I don't know. So anyways, give me some insight here. And if you know an author that you really like, or a series or something like that, feel free to put those in the comments below and I'll look them up and maybe I'll check something out. This is something new. I just never thought of someone really writing a novel based upon a quilt, but this one sounds like it's based more upon sex between the quilts. But whatever. Or is this sort of the kind of thing that, like a romance novel, like my mother used to read, they always have the half-naked man with long hair with some southern belle in his arms, and she's looking all like, oh no, no, please don't, please do, please don't, please do. Your mouth says no, 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 but your eyes say yes, 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 kind of a thing. So I'd like to know. All right, we've had some suggestions from some other subscribers. I was looking for topics that we could talk about or do here on So Chatty. And we've had some people who, more for Walter than me, that want some tutorials. But before we talk about what they want from Walter, it's always Walter. Walter, Walter, Walter. Everybody loves Walter. Live with him. Okay. Someone wants to know how I organize my patterns. Well, that's very simple, and I have a foolproof method for this. I don't. They're in a drawer. They're sitting in a basket. I started to organize them once, and basically by headings like table runners, wall hangings, quilts, completed projects. And now that basket got a little full, so it's in a filing cabinet drawer. Now I can just kind of stick my patterns down beside it. I don't know how to organize them because I could create a database. And you put in the name of the pattern, the number of the pattern, where you can get the pattern, the name of the designer. But that's a lot of work. Would you do that?
No, I'm
No, I
not very
don't think so.
organized. I keep them all in plastic bags and I shove them somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's what I do. Mine are all in plastic bags. I bought special, how a pattern comes in the little plastic bag, it's folded in half. Well, I bought a bunch of those bags some time ago from Amazon, and that's what I do. If I print out a pattern, I fold it, put it in the bag.
Actually, most of my patterns, though, are PDF patterns. So I keep the original PDF copy on my computer, right? And the printed pattern I do put in a bag for reuse sometime down the road. So I don't have to reprint it and stick it back together again.
Yeah, well,
But
do you set up directories for the types of patterns? Of course.
I don't have that many.
No, I guess you wouldn't.
So,
see, I have them all. Any of the ones that I have downloaded, I keep them on my computer, but they're not organized. They're just in one huge big directory that says, patterns. Although mind you, there is a subdirectory in there for bag patterns. I started doing that, and there might be a subsection for Christmas, but I haven't kept it up. What I was looking for, and maybe some of you know about this, but I can't find one. There are apps you can get for books where you can basically take a picture of the not USB, the barcode, the ISBN number on the back of the book or on the spine of the book with your camera, and this software will identify the book, put a picture of it into its database of what the cover looks like. It will have all the information about like who the author is and that kind of thing, and it's there. It's right there. And then usually in these databases you can do a search, kind of a thing, and you can add other details, like in the case of books, maybe by theme, mystery, or something like that. I've been looking for something comparable for a pattern because most patterns come with a barcode. So it would be easy. Take a picture of the barcode. It finds the picture of the pattern. Bang, there it is. Tells you what the title is and everything. I haven't had any luck finding an app that will do that. I wondered if one of the book apps would do that, but they don't seem to do that because, well, they're based on an ISBN number. And I don't think patterns necessarily are. I'm not really sure about that, but no, I think ISBN numbers are only for actual published books. So if anybody knows of an app like that, that'd be great because that would save a lot of time and it would be a much easier method for organizing it, because I get asked all the time, oh, back some time ago, I saw you do this pattern and I really liked it and I don't know what it's called. It was red. And I'm sorry, but I just ignore comments like that because I have no idea what you're talking about. But other times, and when I review a pattern on the Idiot Quilter, I do give a link to where I got the pattern in those cases. But yeah. But here's another thing. Do people really share patterns or make multiples of a pattern or come back to a pattern they may have made years ago and decide to make it again? Maybe, but for myself, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't think I've ever made anything twice, with the exception of maybe like a table runner kind of a thing. With that, like the ones I'm doing right now. So I don't know. So if anybody knows of an app that would do what I'm suggesting, or an easier way that's not going to take me days and days. I have probably 300 patterns. I collected them at one point in time. Now, there is another method I use, though. Can you reach over and grab me those red index boxes, which are all glued together, so be careful when you pick them up so that they don't, like, fall apart. They shouldn't, but I never know. This is a system that I'm using right now for sort of current projects, except there's a lot in here that aren't current. I printed these out. They're just like magazine holders, but I printed these out, custom sized them for patterns using my 3D printer, and I've labeled them, and you can see what I have on the labels. Fat quarter, say fat quarter friendly, okay? Because I got that big box of fat quarters Walter gave me at Christmas and I haven't touched yet because I'm still looking for the ultimate pattern to use those with. Christmas projects and future projects.
You can't read that.
I can't run in there. I mean, usually I'm sitting a little closer to my screen, but you're taking up all my space.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, so this is like more immediate, and when I can swap this out if I want. I'm done with this section, then I'll just take off the label, make a new label, no big deal. But right now I have a Christmas projects, for example, and I went through some of my patterns that I've never done, and I started pulling them up, and so they sit there. But like any organization system that I use, it's a great idea. And then they'll just sit here and I'll probably never look at these again. Well, that's not true. I will. But at least they're right there on my cutting desk. So, what they say, out of sight, out of mind. So I like to keep things in sight or I will not get around to them. So having my patterns in a filing drawer doesn't work. So where do you keep yours physically?
I have a couple of spots in my room.
Oh.
I do have a box that I have a bunch of patterns in. one of those big square, what do you call them? They're
Box.
24 by 24 inch boxes.
Oh, you mean the banker's box?
No. 20, the scrapbooking thing.
Oh, the plastic
plastic
boxes. You
box,
mean
yeah.
project box?
Project box. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Sounds
And then
like
I've got another one of another dollar store box I keep some stuff in. And then I've got, for really big patterns, I've got them shoved in between my serger and my cover stitch machine.
okay. It sounds like a wonderfully efficient system.
But I mean, I just have like a couple of different shirt patterns. I have a couple of short patterns. I have a couple of coat patterns. I don't have that many.
Hmm.
So that I have some PDF patterns I've never printed out. I've purchased them, but I haven't done the project yet, so I haven't printed them out. So
Well, so anyways, so that's the answer to how I organize patterns. I don't. Maybe down the road I will. Which is unusual for me because I usually have I have several label makers and everything in down here is labeled. And I relabel and I reorganize because I've always been into organizing and finding the most efficient way. And I've always been into making lists and databases. But with the patterns, no, that didn't happen. Same with my embroidery files. They're sort of organized, but sort of not. Okay, so some people wanted to know from Walter to do tutorials on putting in a placket, putting in silk organza lining, and putting in pockets in shorts. Now, the placket thing, you said that's very complicated.
it is. I've only ever done a couple of plackets, not well.
What's a placket?
Okay, if you got a polo shirt, the collar, where the buttons are on, is called a placket.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The other thing is if you have a long sleeve shirt, and if you have a long sleeve shirt, right, and the part where the button comes up from from the
wrist,
the cuff, right, there's a split
Yeah.
in the shirt where the cuff joins and stuff. That's called a placket.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, now the long sleeve shirt plackets I don't find are as hard to do as the collars for the polo. But I've only ever done a couple of polo ones, and not well. And I haven't perfected it yet, so I can't really do a tutorial on it. And besides that, tutorials take a long time to do, and I really need to be confident at doing something before I can do something like a tutorial. And that's true for linings for shorts. I've only lined one pair of shorts ever, right? And I'm not completed that project yet. So I can't really, and the lining is kind of specific for the project that you're doing. I've lined a coat too, and to be honest with you, I don't remember how I did it. But and it's different than lining the shorts. So it's lining something is kind of specific to each project. So really all lining is sewing two pieces of fabric together kind of thing and putting it into your project. But what I'm doing right now may not be what other people do or how other people do it.
So have you ever looked up to see if there's tutorials on YouTube for placket?
No, actually there probably are tutorials on YouTube. There are tutorials for everything. There's tutorials on how to do different kinds of seams. Like every time I do a French seam, I forget how to do it. And then and I look up tutorials on it. So go online, go on YouTube, have a look around, see what
So I'm right on here now in YouTube
on a shirt.
On a shirt, how to do a
There's
placket
tons of them.
So let's see here.
There's how to make a perfect placket. How to make it
easy way.
Yeah.
How to make it. Yeah, there's tons. There's tons
on YouTube. And why reinvent the wheel? Because
exactly.
I'm not a confident sewer yet, so I don't think it's worth my while to
well, my whole feeling about tutorials too is when there's already hundreds of them online, what would make mine any better? Because I'm not as experienced. Like, for example, I'm looking right here on the screen now, and I just reviewed on next week's Idiot Quilter. There will be a review about this Fui sewing. One of my subscribers put me on to her when I was talking about hemming jeans and said, you take a look at her video on that because it's a little different. And it was. And looking through her website, I think her tutorials are fairly well done. I mean, I don't sew garments, but it looked like she finds, like she calls it, the easy method for some things, and it's very, very clear. Her videos are very professionally done. So there you go. Why reinvent the wheel if there's somebody who's really good at it, knows what they're doing, and knows how to teach it too?
Not only that, doing a tutorial video takes a lot of time and editing.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of editing.
And I'm not a confident enough sewer to show people how to do that.
You know, so do you have like a tip? If somebody was to do putting in a placket for the first time, do you have a tip? A short tip?
Take your time.
Okay, so
no, I don't know. I don't really have a good sewing tip for that. That I can't, like I said, I've only done a couple of plackets, so I don't really, I can't really say you should do this or you should do that. So
okay, so you're not an expert.
No, I'm not.
No. Okay, so what about any tips for putting in silk organza lining? Don't, I would say, but
I don't think I'm doing these shorts right now, and I don't think I'll do it again.
Why?
Well, it's a pain in the butt to put the silk organza in, and I'm making a linen pair based on what this guy that I took the class from, and I'm not really that happy with I'm not sure if I really like the look of linen that much. So I think I'll just stick with regular shorts.
Regular shorts you don't put a lining in, right?
No, I don't.
So is there a reason why there's lining in linen shorts? Is it because
linen tends to be a bit more floppy or whatever, and the idea is if you put lining in it, it gives you a little more structure. So
okay.
I mean, you could do that if you if let's say you're doing a coat and you have really you have a lightweight fabric or whatever, and normally coats you need a heavier weight fabric, right? So a lot of times people will line them with another fabric so that it gives it more structure, or they'll put interfacing through the whole thing or something like that. So you can use your imagination at how to do that. So
and then putting in pockets in shorts, is there any tips there?
well, see, most pockets go by pattern, right? You have to put in a pattern, and there are different kinds of pockets that you can put in. Like there's pockets that you reach into in the side, right? They're done a certain way. There's ones that they're flat pockets on the back. There's pockets that have a split in the middle. They're special. There's spelled that wrong.
Yeah, okay, carry on.
And there's how to sew there's side pockets. Yeah, there's lots of people that have that in there. See, like most patterns come with instructions on how to sew the pocket in, and it's specific to the pattern. So then there's cargo pants have pockets on the outside. So like there's all kinds of different kinds of pockets.
Like there are tons of videos about all of these topics on here. So really, like I said, unless you had a very unique way of doing something, it's not really worth trying to put up a tutorial about it, because there's other people who do this on a much more regular basis, and for them, they don't have a problem.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that are more like seamstresses or sewers or sewists or whatever that have perfected their techniques on sewing many projects, whereas I've only sewn, this will be my third pair of shorts that I've sewn. So, and each one of the 3 shorts that I made, they're all a slightly different design, right? And the pockets are based on the pattern. So
Well, so those were the only suggestions anyone gave us as to what they might want to see as future topics. We're still open to them. And I don't want to seem unappreciative about those topics. Those were fine, legitimate ones, but we're being upfront and honest about what we can do and what we can't do or what we're comfortable with doing. But, don't stop sending us some ideas because I'm sure we'll hit something that's going
I
to work.
mean, our viewership might increase if I
Yeah, people
but
love tutorials.
love tutorials, but I'm not really prepared to do that right now.
No. And
Maybe if I start sewing more and more stuff, maybe. But
and yeah, the whole thing too is there's two things happening here. One is knowing the expertise to be able to explain and teach people how to do something. The other side of it is the technical part. And it's not just a question of pointing your camera and shooting. And if you want to know more about what I mean by that or how I make my videos, I have done for next week on my vlog on Monday. There will be a special little, actually, no, it'll be come out on Tuesday. I've actually done a whole demo of how I do videos, what the process is. Because you only see this pretty much in the final product stage. There are other stages in between, which I'm sure you're aware of. But I'll show you how I do them. But that's going to go up next week. So, and that may explain too why we don't do really tutorials. Short little ones. I've done some short little tutorials, but they're more or less showing you how to use equipment or things like that. Not, I wouldn't be confident in showing somebody how to quilt. Also, again, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of videos on YouTube for that kind of stuff too. So if I could add something that's unique to the process, I would. But right now, no. In fact, I got asked to put up a tutorial on how to do backings on a in the hoop embroidery design. I was asked for this from my group on the Quilter's Way because I still don't understand, and I'm not going to do it because I'd already explained it. I mean, and I'm not going to get into it now about it, but I don't understand what this person was asking for, what they really want, that they thought that, it would take time to put up a video about how to do it because there's nothing complicated about it. Like nothing at all complicated about it. But anyways. Okay, so that's the only suggestions we've had. So I'm putting out an appeal here. I'm running out of interview suggestions. Now, a couple of subscribers did suggest a couple of male quilters that I'd never heard of. And I tried to reach out to these people because I looked at their videos. They're small YouTube channels, and I like small YouTube channels. I like to help promote other people's YouTube channels. And, but I have not heard back from either one. Now, I did not have an email address for them. Sometimes the email address, you can find it in their YouTube videos, but not in the case of these two gentlemen. And so I basically wrote what I wanted as a comment to one of their latest videos. And I don't know if they think I'm a scammer or something. I did put in there, I'm not scamming you. This is legit. I even gave them links to my previous interviews so they could check it out to get a feel for what I do with those. But I've heard nothing from them. And so either they're just not interested, or they haven't seen the message, or they think I'm a stalker. So I don't know. So I need some more suggestions because I'm running out of people. But if you give me a suggestion, remember, I don't want to do a big name. Don't give me Angela Walters or Donna Jordan or Jenny Dunn, because I'm not doing them because they've been done, okay, to death. And if you can find an email address or some way that I can contact them, then I'd appreciate that information as well, because I don't know. So I have nobody. And there are lots of people that subscribe on here. I have almost 7,000 subscribers. There's got to be a few of you out there that would like to be interviewed. Okay? And I've said it before, don't be shy. I don't bite unless you want me to. I need suggestions too, or I need people to send me things to feature on the Idiot Quilter, your creations. I almost didn't have anything for this one coming up on Tuesday, but at the last minute yesterday, somebody sent me some stuff. So that's great. I don't want you sending me, though, everything you've ever made, pictures of everything. And I've had a few people do that. Like I
Or
had one person.
pictures of your children.
Yeah, I don't want pictures of your children. Yeah, you think that would be obvious, but I did have somebody send me a picture of a kid. The thing was, I mean, I could understand if they had sent me a picture of a kid wearing a creation they had made for them, but no, that's not what this was. This is just a picture of a kid. Okay, so obviously I didn't do anything with that, and also I really don't want pictures of kids because YouTube has a strict policy about that, and I sort of agree with that policy as well. We don't need to be putting, there's perverts out there. But send me 1, 2, 3 at the most pictures of a creation, or if you made a bag and you made a quilt, well, send me a picture of each of those. Write me a little blurb. Doesn't have to be long. Okay, 50 words or less is great. Okay, and I'll feature it. But after this week coming up, I don't have anything to show anybody from anybody. And of course, I need more topics again, and we've already talked about that, for things not just for here on So Chatty, but things for the Idiot Quilter as well. So you don't have to decide whether or not your idea is stupid. I will do that. I mean, there is no such thing as a stupid idea. No, it's just send it, because sometimes I'll take your ideas and I'll find a spin on them that's a little bit unique. Okay, so yeah. So what else do we want to talk about today? I don't think there's a heck of a lot, except that I will have to destroy my sewing room because the guy came to take the measurements for our new windows and everything. And well, I knew this already, but all my stuff down at the one end that you can't see at the moment, where I have one of my sewing machines and my pressing station, all of that has to come away from the windows. And all the stuff I have on the walls down at that end are going to have to come down. Which I was thinking, while that guy was here today and telling us all this, that, I've got those 2 big bulletin boards up there, and I wouldn't mind replacing them with the IKEA peg system, maybe. Have to see how well they come off the wall. Because, yeah, some things are kind of stuck. Well, now, mind you, most things that are on my walls are stuck with command strips, which just sort of peel right off.
Okay, well, we'll worry about that then.
But we'll have to worry about that then. So I'm not looking too forward to that. He didn't say anything about when and install it.
No, he can't say.
Yeah. Then, anyways, yeah, it'll be nice when it's done. But I think there's going to be a hell of a mess. I'm going to have to move my sewing machines out of the way too and cover up things. Okay. So I can't think of another thing to tell you today. Yes, and So Chatty is late today because yesterday was a horrendous day as we were installing, and when I say we, I mean Walter, installing the dishwasher. So he wasn't in the mood to do a So Chatty.
I was not in a good mood.
He was not. No. Yeah.
There are a lot of 4-letter words floating around the house.
Oh, some new ones too. And yeah, and you can't see the lacerations on my body, but yeah. Okay. Anyways, hope you have a good week and tune in next week for everything else. And don't forget about Stephen and Walter live on Sunday afternoon, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to talk then about why we don't go to the Pride Parade in Toronto, or the Freak Show, as we like to call it. But we'll talk more about that on Sunday. Okay, everybody, have a good weekend, a good week, and we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.
Walter.